It's time for this week's episode of Brandon's Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon's Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon's Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview St. A's head women's golf coach, Tara Watt. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get involved in coaching in college women's golf?
So I honestly didn't know that it was something that I wanted to do. I got approached by the head coach at Southern New Hampshire University, and he had mentioned that he needed some help, and I was like, sure, why not? So that's when I started coaching 5 years ago there, and I just kind of fell in love with it.
What was it like going to Gardner-Webb and playing golf there?
So Gardner-Webb is in North Carolina, so it was definitely far away from home. I played 3 sports in high school, and I could have played all 3 of them in any college that I wanted to, but I chose golf because golf's one of those sports that I picked up and I wasn't good at, and I needed to figure it out. So I ended up going to Gardner-Webb, and it was honestly probably the best 4 years of my life. I had such a great time down there.
What was it like getting to put on that Gardner-Webb golf polo shirt?
It was an honor. Not only was it women's college golf, but it was Division I. And so we were competing at the highest level, playing against some great players, and representing Gardner-Webb as an institution as a student athlete was a great honor.
Of course, being a student athlete, what were some of your accomplishments at Gardner-Webb?
So I think I had 2 hole-in-ones when I was there. One was in practice, one was in a tournament. I actually won a tournament my senior year. And I was a starter all 4 years. So I got to play all 4 years I was there.
What was that like, obviously, competing in tournaments as a golfer?
So it's very stressful, even to this day. I've been playing for 20 plus years, and I always say, if you get on the first tee and you don't have first tee jitters, then you don't want to be there. Every tournament I play in, I want to win it. But I have high expectations of my game and myself. So you put a lot of pressure on yourself.
How was it like going to Southern New Hampshire to become the assistant coach?
So like I said earlier, I got approached by Matt Arvanitis, who's the head men's and women's coach, and asked if I could help him out. And loving the game, I said sure. And it was probably one of the best decisions I made. And I'm very thankful for him for reaching out and asking me, because I had a phenomenal time there. The girls that I coached were awesome, and they taught me a lot about myself. And like I said, I discovered that's when, I love this, and I want to do this until I can't.
What was it like, obviously, coaching the women's golf team?
It's the Southern New Hampshire program was fairly new, so we were still trying to find our way. So we had a very broad variety of talent. So we had some girls that were really good, some girls that needed a little extra help. But it's great because all the girls were there for one reason, no matter what their handicaps were. If you had somebody that was a scratch golfer or somebody that was a 20, they all wanted to be there. They wanted to play, they wanted to compete, they wanted to win. So it was great seeing the different levels of golfer come together, be a team, compete as a team, cheer each other on, and just, put everything they had into it.
What was it like going from Southern New Hampshire as the assistant coach to now where you are now, building your program as a head coach?
Yeah, so I tell this story. The day that I got offered the job at St. Anselm, I was also informed that unfortunately Southern New Hampshire University canceled their women's program. So it didn't take me long to decide that I was going to accept the job at St. A's. So just, I've been there since beginning of September. So just doing a ton of recruiting, trying to get some girls for September. And I'm just really looking forward to hitting the links and, our first girl teeing up that first ball and, being, we're in action.
What is that going to feel like, obviously, being a first-time head coach and teeing up the ball and ready for action?
I I think that what helps me is that I had 5 years of experience at Southern New Hampshire. So, being an assistant coach, being a head coach, I think the responsibilities are the same. But it's nice knowing that this is kind of like my team. So it'll be awesome just, being there with the girls and just representing St. Anselm's and going out there and, doing what they love, playing golf, and me coaching and watching it and being a mentor and a role model and having it be my program is something I'm really looking forward to.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've started to build for St. Augustine?
Yeah. So like I had said, I don't have a team yet. I have a couple players who have committed, still looking for a couple more. But I just want, my biggest thing is I tell the girls that when I am recruiting them and talking to them, like, the last thing I want is for you to go home on Christmas break and be miserable. Like, I want to have fun. I want us to enjoy it. College is going to be the best 4 years of your life. So I want this to be an amazing experience that you can look back on. So I'm looking for girls that want to win, that want to put the time in, that want to play golf, and that have positive attitudes and are team players.
What's it going to be like coming up in this upcoming fall to obviously compete in tournaments?
I think it's going to be exciting. I have a lot of experience. The good thing is that St. Anselm's is in the NE10, which is the same conference that Southern New Hampshire was in. So I know a lot of the other coaches and schools. So I'm familiar with that, and I'm going to have a very young team. So I'm going to have to do a lot of leadership and, help them, guide them along the way. But it's exciting. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Of course, what is that like? Obviously, as you said, they were both in the same conference and now coaching in the same conference. What is that like, knowing that they're there?
Yeah, it actually honestly gives me a little bit of comfort. It's one part about the program that I know. There's a lot of unknowns. So this part is, the easy piece. Like I said, I know the coaches, I know the teams. I probably know some of the players just competing against them with Southern New Hampshire. So it's nice. I'm glad that we are in the same conference.
Who are some of the teams that are in your conference?
So there's Stonehill College, there's Adelphi, Lemoyne, Franklin Pierce. That's just a couple to name. But there's schools in New York, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. So it's mostly New England. So we'll be staying local, which is nice, local-ish.
What has it been like, obviously, to start creating and implementing game day traditions for the golf program?
So that's something that I think I'm going to adopt from what I did at Southern New Hampshire University. But basically, when it comes to tournament time, we'll be able to get a practice round in. And I just want girls, to like look at the course, see the course for the first time, and just kind of, look at it of how to approach it on tournament day. But again, as far as traditions, that's something that hopefully we can, as a team, create along the way. And I'm open to any ideas.
Of course, what does the recruitment process look like for those prospective women golfers?
Yeah, so I have a couple websites that I recruit off of mostly, and I'm very thankful that I've had a bunch of word of mouth referrals. But I basically am just looking for girls who obviously have a good grade point average, that play golf, that I look at tournaments too. I like to see that girls have tournament experience. Not so much like I don't need you to be the best golfer, but I want to know that you're playing tournament golf and you know what that is. Because if you're a golfer, you know that regular Saturday and Sunday rounds with your buddies are a lot different than teeing it up in a tournament. So I like to look at a couple of those factors.
Of course, when looking at these high school prospective student athletes, what is that like, obviously, looking at them on the high school level with their team versus obviously going to compete in tournaments individually?
Yeah, so in New England, there is not a lot of female golfers. So I know that a lot of the girls play with the boys because they just don't have enough girls to make a girls team. But I think that says a lot because, I did it when I was in high school many, many years ago. I was the only female and having to play with the boys, play against the boys. It takes a strong personality for a female to do that. It can be intimidating, especially at a young age in high school. But I think it'll be great for, them to transition from high school to college and just be playing against females. But I think it will be a lot different, but I think it helps. playing with the boys and teaming up with them. So we'll see.
Of course, when on the road, what are some of the things that you look at in these prospective student athletes?
Like I said earlier, I'm just looking for well-rounded girls. I want them to be involved in after school activities. If they play multiple sports, that's awesome. Golf is an individual sport as well as a team sport, but when you're out there on the golf course for 5 hours by yourself, you kind of just only have yourself. I know you've got your 4 other teammates, but it's nice to see girls that play, basketball or soccer or, those more team-oriented sports.
Of course, when you get your first recruits to come on campus, what is that feeling going to be like having them on campus, and what are they going to experience?
Yeah, so I've actually had, I have 3 girls that have actually committed. So I do have some players for next year. I mean, it was not that long ago, but remember sending out a national letter of intent, and I was so excited because it's, it's hard building a team from the ground up. I had one girl come meet me on campus. We went to a basketball game together. We got to talk a little bit. We do campus tours and whatnot. And it's really exciting seeing, I had nothing to start with. So to see, girls coming here and building the team, it's very exciting.
What's that like as a coach, seeing those recruits obviously fall in love with the course and the campus?
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, the community over at St. Anselm is awesome. I am not on campus a ton, but when I go there, it's like its own little family. So, and there's a lot of pride in being a Hawk. So I love, I've seen a couple girls that have committed. I've seen their Instagram posts and they've got the St. Anselm's Hawk logo. And it's like, yeah, let's go Hawks. So I want to be all in. I want everybody to be all in. And I want to represent not only the women's golf team, but the college too.
What are some of your future plans as head coach?
Oh boy. I don't know. I'm kind of I'm a planner, but I just kind of go by the season. So, I mean, my number one goal, and this is what I told the athletic director when he interviewed me, was that I want to bring home trophies. So I'd love to take this program from the ground and build it up into a, I guess, dynasty, if you will say, and bring home a couple NE10 trophies and maybe some individual trophies. And I just want, I want to recruit girls that want to play golf, that want to, get an education and have fun while doing it. And I would love to be super successful.
What advice would you give future high school athletes looking to play college golf?
So I would just tell them to keep playing tournaments. Obviously studies. I also look at grade point averages, and that also helps too with scholarships. So the better you are in the classroom, the more money you're going to get. But tournament play, like I said, I love looking at a girl that sends me, I had a girl send me her golf resume, which I thought that was very impressive. And she had all these tournaments on there and they were big tournaments, and it's just keep playing tournaments and practice.
What advice would you give future college golfers looking to play college golf?
I would just tell them to, put yourself out there, make a recruiting video, figure out where you want to go. In New England, we have winter here. So I know some people like to go far away, people that want to stay close to home, narrow it down. If there's a division that you want to play in, certain schools that you're looking for. But there's also websites out there, the ones that I recruit off of, that I would put profiles up there, swing videos, and just make yourself seen, make yourself noticeable. And there's tons of opportunity out there for female golfers for scholarships and spots on teams.
What advice would you give those college golfers looking to play professionally, whether it's the LPGA or going internationally or amateur?
Yeah, that kind of coincides with the last question, or 2 questions ago. You just got to keep playing. Golf is one of those games that it doesn't matter if you're, Tiger Woods or just starting out, like you got to continuously practice. You can never be good enough. Always practice. These professional players have swing coaches, they have psychologists. There's just a lot that goes into golf, and just put the time in. And if you do that, then you're well on your way.
What advice would you give future college golf coaches looking to get started?
So I would say start out as a volunteer, or even like a high school coach. or if it's something time consuming, like I said, just go ask, your local high school, local college, like, hey, do you need help with anything? I'm very fortunate. I didn't know that coaching was something I wanted to do, and I got asked and I did it. And I'm so glad that I did, because I truly have a passion and a joy and a love for it. So, just put yourself out there, and just like in any career, you start out with an internship and you're learning that way, and that will open many doors for you. So just, make yourself known that you want to help out. And like I said, the doors will open after that.
What advice would you give those future college assistants, such as yourself, that went from being an assistant coach to obviously building a program and becoming a head coach?
Yeah, I am glad that I was actually an assistant. I learned a lot, and I didn't feel the pressure that, I was in charge of everything. I could kind of sit in the back seat and learn from Matt. And I took a lot in the last 5 years over at SNHU and learned a lot. And I am very thankful for that. And I'm definitely ready to have my own team and be a head coach.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with the St. A's women's golf program?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Golfing Girl 525, also same as Twitter. I'm on Facebook too, but I'm on pretty much all the social media outlets. But we do have our own St. Anselm's Hawk women's golf social media outlets too, for Instagram and Facebook.
Thank you again, Coach Tara Watt, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the St. A's women's golf program.
Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Tara Watt, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thanks.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.